What's up, brother? How's it going? I'm doing very well, bro. Hey, what's happening from Barcelona? What's happening, bro? What's up, Derek? So today we're going to kind of go over a little bit of market structure and how to sort of, see things properly. Because a lot of you guys are taking trades sort of like in the middle of nowhere, and I've been caught in that trap as well, and it's a problem as well. Like when you are in a point of price where it's pulling back, and you're trying to take longs, it's not going to work out well for you, you know. I hope you guys can all hear me right. Just let me know if you guys can hear me properly. Hey Ethan, thanks for the videos. I just passed my funded challenge. Well done, Jerry. Congrats. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, this stuff works. I mean, I'm gonna be dropping a video on Sunday that's gonna hopefully blow your guys' minds. Like it blew my mind when I went over it this week. But when you guys use the higher time frames to trade, it really makes a massive difference, because a lot of you guys are sort of like trading blind, because if you don't know what's happening on the higher time frames, you won't know where to go in terms of, am I going long, am I going short? Also, where am I expecting the market to go in terms of what profit targets am I going to set for myself? Because if the market is, for example, on the higher time frames here, okay, why would we, if the market is here, why would we want to now, for example, why would we want to go short if the market is here? Okay, because say for example we're here on the 4 hour, okay, this is the 4 hour structure right now. We're trying to take shorts now. Why would we be taking shorts? The market's in a discounted area. Okay, we're in the pullback phase is now starting to end, and we're going to start going long. Okay, so a chalk and a boss is very different. The break of structure would be here, whereas the chalk is a more aggressive way to see where price is reversing. So chalk would be somewhere down here. Again, chalk is, it's very different from a break of structure. So that's essentially what it is, guys. Like when you see market structure, and market structure is doing this, okay, we want to be catching the low points and taking them all the way to the top on the higher time frames. So we don't want to be getting in where, for example, if we're here in price, if price is here right now, we wouldn't be looking to go long, because once price is going to start to retrace. So we would look for, signs of the market retracing. For example, if price had on this end some supply, okay, or if we had a fair value gap here, we would then start to look for price to reverse so that we can start to play this pullback, okay. I am in Cape Town, my friend. So yeah, I hope you guys understand that. But what I suggest you guys do is use the 4-hour time frame along with, you know, your ICT concepts so that you can know where the market is going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys sort of what I'm talking about. So the way I mark out higher time frame structure is simple. I have, for example, we know that price, let's say it does that. Okay. Right. So say this is what you're looking at. Okay. Now, when price moves, okay, in order for there to be a valid swing, so obviously these are your swing points here. Okay. This is where, you know, if we were drawing price, we would be looking at it like this. Okay. These little pullbacks here are just small pullbacks, and we can see that relative to price. So we can see that a pullback would be like this, not like this. Okay, and you can gauge that with your eyes, firstly. Secondly, you can also measure it. So you can create a rule for yourself where you say, hey, this is just an internal pullback of 35 pips. But if it has more than, say, 100 pips, then we're looking at a swing pullback. Okay, so there's two different kinds of pullbacks. So, right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, how do we know that a pullback is starting? There's a potential pullback. Well, we get a change of character. So this is a change of character right here. Okay, whoops. This here is a change of character. So we had a small internal pullback, okay? A little pause in the market before it continued, and we saw a change of character. So now we know that prices, if there was nothing here, we would know that price is going to continue lower to find a discounted price, okay? It's going to go into discounted prices and then continue going up. So if we see this, we're like, okay, now we're just looking for shorts to go into this discounted area. And then once we're in the discounted area, and for example, to the left, we've got a fair value gap, we can start to look for longs, okay? And the longs, not only are we looking for longs, when we're here and we're looking for shorts, okay, we're just looking for small shorts. We're not looking, once we get into the zone, the deeper we get into the zone, the less probable your short trades are going to be. So that's something to keep in mind. But when you're here and you start to see longs start to set up, well, guess what? You can start to, firstly, you can take off some partials if you're in longs here at like a 1 to 2. And then you can start to look to capture this whole move and take your profits at the swing high. Okay, because when price breaks structure, like here, okay, sorry, there's a lot of lines here, but when price breaks structure, we know it's going to retrace so that it can facilitate a pullback into discounted prices. Once we've pulled back into discounted prices, we can start to look to capture this whole long move. So what I'm trying to say is, you need to manage your expectations. If I'm going short from here, I'm only looking for a short move, okay? I'm only looking for to capture a small move to the downside, because we know that this is just a pullback for the real move on the high time frame. Remember, this is all happening on the 4-hour. And then we can capture this, which can be huge risk reward, okay? So I hope you guys are understanding this. If you guys are understanding this, please let me know in the chat. If you guys have any questions or you're a little confused, let me know. But that's essentially what I'm trying to show you guys. If you can take advantage of that, you will really, really like be able to crush it with ICT. Yeah, that's right. So, but this isn't OTE necessarily, okay? This is more a case of, let me show you. So OTE is when you are on the lower time frames looking for entry. This is higher time frames. So we're looking for, premium and discount, which is similar to OTE, but we are looking to go, long in those areas of discount on the lower time frames, if that makes sense. So let me get rid of EMA because that's not helpful. So if we look at live price right now, so what I'm going to do is let me get rid of this thing. So what I'm going to do is show you what's happening with price. This is quite recent. So in order for me to classify a swing as a swing, it needs to, so this pullback happens here. So this pullback happens here, okay? Now, we can all agree that this is a low, okay? And this is the pullback. In order for me to classify this as a swing low, as a break, I need to have a full body candle break below this low. And as you can see, this candle does that, okay? Now we pull back a little bit, but do we consider it to be a pullback relative to these pullbacks that's happened here? It's very small. So you could say it's a pullback if you wanted to. It doesn't actually make too much of a difference, okay? But for me, I will just say that price is continuing lower, okay? I would straighten this out, obviously. This here, I would consider to be a pullback, okay? And obviously, the lows have been taken here, and now we're waiting for the lows with a full candle body closure, which would be here, okay? Needs to close below. So that's the pullback. This is where the full candle body closes below. And we start to pull back a little here. Okay, again, we could classify this as a pullback, or we could just allow price to, I'm just going to mark it on as a pullback. And then we come down here. And then, guys, we get price. So whether you count this as a pullback or not, whether you count this as a pullback or not, you get a break here. Okay, so what happens is price is now flipping bullish, right? So price is now flipped bullish. And now we are currently here. So as you guys can see, price has broken this high, okay, with a full body. Let me just straighten this out. So price broke the lows here. Price broke the lows here. Broke the lows here. Okay, we've got a high here, a high here. All of these highs are holding, okay, holding, except now this gets broken, okay? The high is no longer holding. So now we flip bullish, okay? And we pulled back. So what we expect the market to do is to respect this low. So we're expecting price to pull back, which it's done. Price pulls back into the low, a discounted zone. Okay, so here is your 50% mark. We're expecting price to pull back into this zone here. Okay, which it has done here. And then we would start to look for positions potentially long. Okay, now the cool thing is, if I literally do this, you can see it a lot more clearly. So this is where we are in price right now. Does it look similar to that diagram that I showed you guys earlier? It should do. Let me just have a look here. So prices, this is where we are right here, right now. Prices pull back into this zone. So if we're looking for longs with our ICD Judah swing, or if we're looking to trade kill zone in London, well, why would we be looking over here to go short? We wouldn't be looking to go short here because we've come into a discounted zone, okay? So, and we're also in an order block, not to mention. So why would we be looking to go short here? We wouldn't. And so that's what's happening, guys. This is the 4 hour, remember. So on the 1 hour, people are trying to go short here, and they're wondering why their trades aren't working out. Whereas you could start looking for longs, okay? You're looking for setup in New York session and Euro USD account to midnight strategy. Not to understand. I'm not too sure what you mean, brother. And so here you would want to look for longs, obviously, to take. And the thing is as well, not just that, you would be looking not just for a short-term long, you would be looking for longs that break this high, which, by the way, when you're entering on the lower time frame, you would be literally having a stop like this and getting a 1 to 20, you know, literally. So you can take off partials at like 1 to 2 and then go break even and then literally hold just until price breaks this. I'm going to show you guys how to do that on Sunday with the video I'm releasing. It's absolutely mental. I really recommend that you guys bookmark that when I release it. So I hope this is making sense, guys. If it's making sense to you, please let me know in the comments. So yeah, essentially that's what I would do. However, where price is here, price is just taken out. So for example, when price is here and it just takes this out, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for price to pull back. So once price breaks structure, we're then waiting for a pullback. So then we look for a change of character on the higher time frame. Okay, once we see a change of character on the higher time frame up here, we can then start to look for shorts. Okay, because we're looking to take shorts into the discounted zone here. However, we know that we're not looking to swing it for a long period. We're just taking small moves because we're actually against this swing structure. Okay, swing structure is key because that is your higher time frame narrative. And if you are playing against it, you're not wanting to hold it forever. Whereas here, you can start to look to hold it for a long time if you want. Okay. So I hope like this is making like alarm bells like click off in your head about how like the things that you've been doing before and the mistakes you've been making and trades that you took that maybe didn't work out because you're fighting against this higher time frame narrative. So essentially, you can literally hold these trades all the way up, and these trades you're just taking very shortly. So for example, where price is right now, price is just, let me check what you said. But how to enter the trade and manage it, because if my stop is too tight, I get stopped out, especially in ES. So DR, when you are placing your stops, your stop loss always goes below the low, always. The lowest part, you're not going to put it straight underneath the fair value gap. Or even if it's a swing like here, if it is, for example, a little swing here, you're not going to put it here. You're going to put it here, okay? Always do that. So yeah, and also the other thing, guys, what we're looking for to the left, what else is going to give us a clue that there's a pullback starting to happen? If there's a fair value gap that happened to the left, like this, okay? So what we're looking for is price to hit the fair value gap to the left here, and we're looking for a change of character. And then we can start to look to play the pullback. We play the pullback, okay? Price goes into the discounted area, and then we play full long with the trend, because then we're expecting price to break this high, okay? And so if you analyze the higher time frames like this, I can tell you now your win rate will go up, and you'll be able to catch these huge moves, right? Not only that, you'll be able to play even the pullback counter trend, because you will know when to take profit. You'll take profit much more conservatively when you are trading against the trend, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to analyze this higher time frame. Again, this is literally the higher time frame. This is literally this that we just took out. I just copied it to the side. So again, it's literally just this. Okay. So where we are currently right now, so price broke structure. Now this structure has held because it broke this right here. Tainted Minds, have a look at my new video that I'm releasing on Sunday. I suggest I'm going to pre-release it so you guys can bookmark it. On Sunday, I'm dropping probably my most like in-depth crazy video I've ever dropped before. Goes over this, but it also goes over how to enter and when to enter. So, is the video quality bad? Can everybody let me know? Are you guys struggling with video quality right now? Let me know, guys. But I'm going to crack on anyways. So, essentially, where we are right now, we're breaking structure. Whoops, that's not a... We're breaking structure to the upside, so we flip bullish. Okay. Now, what we would expect, again, if we look to the left, there's no real fair value gaps. There are some order blocks. So if we draw some order blocks, for example, this here, there's an order block, okay? And then here we have got an order block. I'm actually just going to take this wick because it's a really big order block. Okay. If otherwise I would have to literally take this whole thing. So I'm going to refine it to this wick. Okay, quality is fine. (1080p). Cool, thanks, Paul. Okay, so as you guys can see, we've got stuff that could potentially facilitate a pullback. Okay, so we're now looking for price to potentially tap into one of these points of interest, change character. Okay, so let's see what price does. And again, we're looking for price to change character with fractals as well. So I hope you guys understand fractal structure. I made a ton of videos on it. Oh, well, this is actually where we currently are in price, so that doesn't help. But anyways, price tapped into something here, and it's busy pulling back. So currently what would be happening is price would be... So price is busy pulling back currently. You would have to first decide whether you judge this to be a pullback. How many pips is here? It's only 20 pips. I'd prefer it to be about 50 pips before I start to class this as a pullback. So price could still continue to go here. So what we would be looking for price to do is to come into this level of discount. Okay. And then we would take it further. So what I'm going to do is actually go a bit further back. Just give me a second, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and we're going to analyze higher time frame structure. Oh, okay. You guys are struggling to see the candles and stuff. Is that better? Let me know in the comments if that's better, guys. Oh, my microphone just died. Can you guys hear me now? It's gonna be rubbish sound quality now. I'm just trying to get this mic clear. Just hang on. Can you guys hear me? I think you can. Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to it. Sweet. So let's continue to analyze the higher time frames. So essentially what we would be looking to do is, you can see here, price pulled back and it broke the lows right here. There was a small pullback here, but I would not call that a swing pullback. It's very small. And then we had a swing pullback here with a break. The candles have to break below the low to classify this as a break, okay? So it broke below and we're starting to pull back here, but I would not classify that as a pullback just yet. So let's see how price goes. So I would now classify this as a pullback. So we need price to break below this. Okay, so what we would expect is for this high to hold, okay? We would expect price to come into a discounted zone. Let's make this a little lighter. Come into this top part, okay, which it hasn't done just yet. It doesn't always do it, but the closer you get and the further you get into this zone, okay, up here, the more likely price is going to continue lower, okay? So let's see what price decides to do. So we break below, okay, so it's pulled back and broken below, okay. Price is pulling back once again. And now price has switched bullish, okay, because we've got price pulled back, okay, price broke below, and now it took out this strong high, okay. So now this becomes our strong low, okay. We expect price to respect this, okay, and this is now price is starting to shift structure bullish. So we would expect price to come back down into this discounted zone and continue up. Okay. Now what we can do, let's get rid of this. You can see there's a fair value gap right here. And there's a little fair value gap right here. Right here. Okay, it's very small. Very, very small. Obviously on the lower time frames it's way bigger. So we would look for price to retrace into this zone. Okay, so you can see this fair value gap is in a premium zone. So trading off of this is not high probability. Most likely price is going to come into it, react a little, then continue lower and continue up. However, you must also remember that price has just broken the bearish trend that's been going on for a long time. When price just is bearish for a long time, often it will just do a little retrace and continue. So that's just something that I've noticed. So let's see what price, remember when price breaks, we're looking for price to change character and then, you know, continue lower. And we're looking to the left, okay, we're looking for order blocks, okay. So we've got an order block here, okay. We've got an order block here, but that's already been mitigated here. So I wouldn't actually look at this. So what I would like to see is for price to do something like this. Okay, and this might become discounted. Okay, or price to come down here. Okay, which is much more high probability. And again, this is your high time frame. This is not me looking for entries. This is just me looking to see when I go down to the lower time frames, I'm going to trade in line with this. Okay. And there you go. Price has reacted, and price has also changed character. Let me just double check. Yep, price has changed character. So here you've got a change of character. So on the lower time frames, what would I be looking for right now? I would be looking for shorts to go short. Where is my premium and discount? Premium and discount. So what we would look for is price to retrace and continue into this discounted zone, preferably, and then look. Okay, and obviously, like I say, this is not me looking for entries. This is me just mapping out higher time frames. So on the lower time frames, I know what to do. Right now, price has just shifted bearish. I'm not going to look for longs right now. Okay, it's not high probability. So let's see what happens. It retraces a little. And now we're in a discounted zone. Price gets to the discounted zone, which, by the way, this fair value gap. Okay, and it just continues. Is that not what I was saying would happen? Okay, it gets literally to the discounted zone and it gets to the fair value gap. And then we continue higher. We're looking now for price to break this high. And there you go. Okay. So now we've got a new weak low. Strong low. And we're then looking for price to retrace into more discounted zones. Again, we can mark out our fair value gaps, which there aren't really any. We've got an order block here, which we can mark out. Okay. But again, this is not in a discounted price. So not super high probability that it will hold for too much. To the left, we can look. Here's an order block here. Okay. There's also a fair value gap in between here, which it could react to. So what I would be looking, so this is again high time frames. I'm not looking to enter on these time frames. I'm just showing you guys how you can get yourself in line with these moves. So you can see price could potentially tap into the zone, react, change character, and then we would be looking for it to come into a more discounted zone down here. Okay, and then we can take it long again. That's why we're not looking to get into positions here that's going to come all the way down. We're just looking to take them short. Okay, we're just looking for short positions to play the pullback. And then when you get down into the discounted zones, in these higher probability zones, we can start to look to take price long and wait for them to break highs. Okay, now that's not to say that exactly this will happen. Okay, it won't every time. Price isn't perfect, but this way you have probabilities on your side, and more often than not, you're trading in line with these probabilities. So you can see price comes just short of here. And we tap into this zone. So we're now busy pulling back. I would class that as a pullback. And we've just tapped into the discounted price and into this order block. Okay. So now we could start to look for potential longs, bearing in mind that we're not fully in the discounted zone. So not necessarily we would say that price is going to come higher necessarily, but we are quite bullish. But price could also come underneath to grab a few more orders down here. Okay. And then continue up. see what it decides to do. Okay, so it does come lower to grab a few more orders. It does not break the highs, okay? Again, this is why when you are up here, you would not be wanting to play the longs, like I was saying, because you're in a premium zone. You're right up here by this fair value gap, which also, by the way, this is a buy to sell zone as well. But for the purpose of this video, I'll keep it here at the fair value gap. And then price starts to move away, taps into this. Like I said, it was actually exactly what I said. I said price would come in, react a little, and then come lower. Okay, so that it can pick up more of this discounted price. Now, when we're down here, we can start to look for price to potentially go lower, and theoretically this should hold. It won't necessarily hold, but as a part of our strategy, we expect the strong low to hold so that we can target these weak highs so that this higher high and higher low pattern can continue, okay? That being said, this is a very strong candle, okay? So, and there's not much really strong, this order block here, there's no real fair value gaps here, it's quite efficient. So this fair value gap here was mitigated. So let's see what price decides to do. So again, here I would be starting to look for longs because we're in a discounted zone, okay? We're continuing a little lower. And there you go. So you can't really make this up, guys. I've never seen this. I've not gone to this part in price and backtested it. So again, it took out the highs, okay, doing exactly what we expected it to do. So we got swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, and then we continued higher, okay? It came into the discount, all right? So I hope you guys can see the value in this. Trading in line with this, you are so much more high probable, okay? And when you're here, you're not going to be looking for longs. Why would you be looking for longs here? You're in the worst place ever to look for longs. You're looking for shorts because you're now in an area where you've just broken structure, and we know that when price breaks structure, it will start to retrace. And you're in a premium zone where nobody's looking to buy. Everybody's looking to sell. Price is too expensive here, okay? They look to sell. It gets into a discounted zone. You can now look to buy, okay? So, yeah. I hope you guys can see this. How do you manage risk on all your funded accounts? So mastery, it changes. I'm thinking about doing a video on this. I'm not sure, but I feel like everybody's done videos on this. But I use social trader tools to manage my accounts. So I have them copied. But sometimes what I do is I'll trade them separately. So I will trade one account and I'll get it to a goal and then I'll stop trading it and I'll just wait for payout. Because that way you know you've banked some payouts. So for example, now on Monday, I made $8,000, or I actually made $10,000 on Blue Guardian. I say 8,000 because I only get 85%, so 8,500. And now I'm just letting it sit there until withdrawal. And then now I'm trading the other Blue Guardian account, which I've put into a bit of drawdown now, which actually goes to show having this sort of management works. And then I still got my bespoke account, which I'm also trading in conjunction with that. So yeah, I mean, doing it like that really works well. And then some months I will just copy them all and I'll just trade them all with lower risk. But sometimes I'll have, what I generally do is I have one high risk account, which was this time that Blue Guardian account, which I got to $10,000. And then I have low risk accounts, which I trade separately. But I use social trader tools to copy everything together. But yeah, if you guys want to ask some questions, you can right now. Otherwise, I'm going to end the session in the next 5 minutes. Oopsie. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, guys, like stuff that I have figured out after a few years of trading. I'm just trying to help and pass it on to you guys. Jamie, and I've looked at a few different indicators. There are a few that show off fractals, but they don't show them accurately like how I show them. But I recommend that you go and have a look. Go have a look at my video that I released, not the one before yesterday. Let me see. If you go to my channel, this video here, this will explain how to do fractal market structure. Yeah, there's a few, but this one here is my most recent one that does pretty well. I think this one as well will also show you fractal market structure, this one here. So yeah, on Sunday, I'm dropping a video that puts all of the stuff that I showed you today. There's an extra part to it, obviously. But I show you guys to go from this high time frame market structure to lower time frame entries, and how you can literally get like 1 to 28 risk reward trades. It's absolutely mental. So I'm dropping that video on Sunday. You guys will see, you'll see how to like literally when you're down here, take the trade all the way up here. And this is on the 4 hours. So imagine on the 1 minute, you're literally getting in with like a 5 pip stop and catching like a move that's like 50 to 100 pips. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'm working on. On Sunday, I'm dropping it. And it's absolutely mental. If you mark out the higher time frame like this, you'll know what to expect. Whereas if you're on the lower time frame, it's like you're driving in your car and there's a whole bunch of mist. You can only see 5 meters in front of you. How do you know where to stop? How do you know you're not going to just drive off the edge of a cliff? You don't know because you're not looking far ahead. Whereas when you're on the 4 hour, you can see far ahead. You know where to stop, okay? So like it's, you know exactly what's happening and you know you're not blind. You can't just see a few minutes in front of you, you know? You're seeing much more and you're able to mark it out like this and you know, hey, if I get short here, guess what? I'm only taking a little bit because we're in a pullback phase. We're only pulling back to facilitate this long move, okay? I'll have a look now. What would do you mean this? If you would consider this equal highs, is that right? Oh, on the 5 minute. Do you mean this? Whoops. One minute time frame. Or do you mean this here? This? What's your question, Julian? Miguel, it is a significant swing, so I would consider this as a pretty strong point in liquidity. You can see that, you know, it's quite a considerate swing. Also, there's equal highs up here that you can target as well. Yeah, I think, but it's also again on the higher time frame. Like, where are we on the higher time frame? It's like what I was just saying. So think about it. We've just broken structure now. Here. So we haven't changed character yet. That being said, we've just broken structure. So going short is actually not a bad idea. So if you're short now, I would actually say you've done a good job. Okay, because we're up here. So look, we're up here, and price is going down to facilitate the pullback. Okay, so we're expecting price to come down here and then continue up. Okay, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's what we're expecting. Price could also just do a little pullback, come up higher, and then continue. Because remember, we've been bearish for quite a while now. Okay, we just broke bullish here. So we essentially just switched bullish here. So that being said, this was a very short, a shallow break. So I think it's not a bad idea to have gotten shorts. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this live. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, Julian, you can ask me about Blue Guardian. Yeah, Blue Guardian has been really good for me. I've been, like I say, I literally have 400K with them. And I've withdrawn, I'm about to withdraw another $10,000 from them. So I would have in total withdrawn $20,000 from Blue Guardian. So it's a bit difficult to say that they don't work because, yeah. At the end of the day, you must remember they work with 8cap, and sometimes 8cap can be a little erratic, but for the most part, their servers run really, really well. As long as you're trading... as long as you're trading within, decent hours, you're not trading like Asia or something, which is people trade Asia or they trade spread hours and they're like, why is the spread so high? But no, you're within spread hours. What about the unlimited account? With unlimited account, you guys must remember the unlimited account is great, but you get 2% less max drawdown, which for most people is fine. I would say it's better to have the unlimited account and take that. Especially unlimited is really great because you can just take your time. You don't need to worry. Like the biggest reason I think people fail is because they're hurrying and they're rushing and they're in too much of a rush, which gets tied into greediness, obviously. I don't know what prop firms I'm looking to next. There's so many. You could pretty much choose any of them, to be honest, except for, the scam ones, which are obvious. Artillery, I'm actually still busy figuring out my taxes, to be honest. I'm going to see an accountant tomorrow, actually. So I'll let you guys know. But always do it through, if you're in the US, do it through a do it through an LLC. No, not an LLC. Whatever. I know in the UK it's a limited country. Here, a limited company. Here in South Africa, I've opened up a PTY limited that I run everything through. Awesome, Julian. Yeah, Blue Guardian's been great, and their service is also really good. Just join their Discord. There's I think there's over 20,000 people in their Discord, but they're really, really good. Right, so that's it from me, everybody. If you guys want to, the link to join my Discord is down below, and you guys can get help from me, and you get access to the whole course and all that stuff. You don't have to. Literally all of the stuff on my Discord is free. So I give up everything that I use to be profitable on my account, on my YouTube account. So yeah. But for those of you who want to be in a community of people that are all trading together, and there's a lot of literally professional traders that trade full time in there, and you want to have access to ask me questions at any time, then yeah, the Discord link is in the description. So yeah, guys, I will see you in the next live. I'm going to try and do at least 1 to 2 a week. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Cheers, everyone.